Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Almir Colan, and I will be your instructor for this Islamic finance course. I have been learning and teaching Islamic finance and commercial transactions for many years. As a consultant lecturer at La Trobe University, I taught master's students in the area of Islamic finance and Islamic capital markets, where I also served as advisory board member for the Master of Islamic Banking and Finance course. Today, I'm involved with several organizations that provide training and consulting in the area. My passion is working with business owners and entrepreneurs in advancing awareness and providing solutions in all aspects of business and finance for our community. There is a lot of skepticism and uncertainty when it comes to financial decision. Who do we ask? Where do we get the right advice? And who do we trust? My wish is that in this course you realize and learn Islamic take on money, finance and business transactions, and understand the importance of aiming high in your life, not only for yourself, but for your community. You will inshallah learn the key principles and gain confidence that will guide you as you navigate transactions in your everyday life. Since money and finance make such a huge part of our life on individual and societal level, I would like to see our community learn these rules and live strong and independent, able to take care of itself and those that we love. So in the first module, we're going to cover things like living in the West and financial challenges that we face, importance of economic and social stability, common economic issue facing Muslims. What is the wealth from an Islamic perspective, and what should be the right balance? In the later modules, we will cover details relating to Islamic law of contract, business transactions, prohibitions in muamalat, business dealings such as riba and gharar. We will analyze differences between Islamic and conventional financial products. After that, we hope to be able to analyze types of Sharia-compliant contracts such as musharaka, murabaha, ijara, and so on. And finally, we will look at some of the contemporary applications of Islamic finance products with a specific look at the home financing case study. Course is structured in a way that each topic builds on the another. We will start with simple principles and build on. So let's begin. What is Islamic finance? Islamic finance represents financial activity that is consistent with the principles of Sharia. Sharia law prohibits unethical, immoral, speculative activities, as well as interest, gambling, uncertainty, and so on. Islamic finance encourages entrepreneurship, mutual cooperation, generosity, and spirit of partnership, which connect the capital owner with the real economic activities that may actually contribute to the welfare of society via commerce, manufacturing, construction, and so on. This, of course, is not only limited to modes of financing, but cover all business and financial transactions and ruling. All of us are required to seek lawful wealth for our needs, attain self-sufficiency, provide shelter, and so on. There is a high demand from the Muslim community for Sharia-compliant alternatives to conventional finance. Much concern revolves around what is allowed and what is not. General contracts, home or car financing, and so on. As dealing with people in society is part of day-to-day life, the Sharia lays down rules that promote fair dealing and business ethics based on universal principles. These principles also consider the needs that contribute to the healthy society. Many of us will remember that just recently we had one of the major financial crises, bankers who sold those loans to people who couldn't afford them, made a profit from subprime mortgages by taking various derivatives and other types of insurances in case of defaults. While millions lost homes, few of those people were made millionaires and even billionaires on the back of others' misery. It was not right and it was not fair. This is why so many people demand change. Problem, however, is they don't know how that change is supposed to look like. So let's have a look in the Islamic finance and what it provides. As a result of these problems in the financial world, we have seen people demand universally fair and just system that is socially responsible and sustainable. We see people even look at the latest Occupy Wall Street movement demonstrations and all of those ideas that they bring. is just the sign that people want change from the greedy and inhumane system we have created. To provide a stable and secure alternative, especially in these uncertain times. Sheikh Taqi Usmani recently wrote a beautiful article that highlights some of the things that we should really think about when we are considering the issues of economy and finance. And he said in his article, as a really something to ponder over, he asked, if economy is outside of the domain of religion, we often see on our money sign which says, "In God we trust." But how do we earn, distribute, and spend money? Is it purely materialistic and secular approach to modern economics, or do we incorporate certain values and fresh approach based on some values and ideas that have some ethical grounding? Trust often today is placed on human ideas and personal assessment, and religion and God are totally out of the picture as being irrelevant to economic activities. As Muslims, we understand that Islam is something that guides us in the whole of our life. It's a way of living the life that is consistent with our values. That goes back to the basics of economic and societal stability. In Islam, it is very important that we live this active lifestyle. The Prophet ﷺ said, one would rather cut and carry a bundle of wood on his back to sell to people rather than ask somebody who may or may not give him. In this example, we see that taking even the most simple job, it's much better than asking from people. Putting yourself in a situation where you might be humiliated because you are coming as a lower hand and asking somebody to provide something for you. And that person having that position, upper hand over you, might decide to give you, might not. And therefore you put yourself in a really difficult situation where you lower yourself for something that is very little in the value. Therefore, this hadith emphasizes that work is required by those who have the ability. Work becomes an obligation for such people, and even more so for those who have dependents for whom they are responsible. Such a person should not seek their needs from others. Likewise, if the person decides to beg from other people, and in Islam, begging is action that you perform when you can take care of yourself, yet you choose to go and ask from other people. So for such people who can do something about their situation, but they choose to go to other people to help them, to ask from them, for such a people, Prophet ﷺ said, the one who continues to beg will meet Allah having no piece of flesh on his face. And the reason for this is that when we beg and ask from others, while we can change and do something about our situation, we trade our honor and dignity. So one who does that will come on the day of judgment without his honor and the dignity. And this situation is definitely what Islam does not want to see from Muslims, to be humiliated and trade the honor and dignity for the money or the wealth or some temporary provisions. Narrated Ibn Umar, one of the Prophet's famous companions, I heard Allah's Messenger while he was speaking about charity. He said to abstain from asking others for financial help, and also about begging from others by saying that the upper hand is better than the lower hand. The upper hand is that of giver, and the lower hand is that of a beggar. So we should be very mindful how we earn our money and how we are independent and to preserve our dignity and honor. Therefore, Islam encourages an active lifestyle. Believers are encouraged to seek their lawful share of this world while at the same time aim for the bounties of the next life.